So this is going to be my story with Aimovig. Now, first of all, this drug has completely changed my life. It's completely given me back almost everything that I lost with IIH and migraines. When I say almost, it's almost, because I have had to adapt. There have been some things that haven't gone back to normal, and there has been some things I've had to adjust to. But I feel like I've covered that a lot, especially lately. So I'm not going to get into that in this video again. But I suggest that you check out the other vlogs on my channel. Alright, so first of all, I need to share my story with Aimovig because it is one that I think is a really important one to talk about. So I was started on Aimovig a few months ago now. I think it was, well, it's been more than just when I officially got put on it, because I actually basically was getting samples from my doctor for a little while, and then I officially went on it and had to pay for it out of pocket because I didn't have insurance. I wasn't able to work at the time. I was actually just starting to be able to get into work while being on the samples, and then they told me they were having trouble getting in samples because of the pandemic. Understandable, of course, but you got to realize how much of an impact this would have had. And we started paying for it out of pocket, and I felt like I just didn't have a choice. It was either that or go back to the way I was feeling before. And honestly, I haven't really talked about much about what I feel with Aimovig, and I don't want to get into it now because I feel like it's going to make this video too long, and the most important thing I want to talk about is this broken system. So when it comes to Aimovig, it's about keeping it consistent, in my opinion. Like, when I get close to the end and needing another dose of it, I really do start to notice it. Not as much now that I've been on it a few months, but there still is some times where I don't know if I'm going through extra things. I've got extra stress, I've got extra other things that are going on that make it so that the medication wears off and needing another dose of it. But it's definitely something that I do notice. So a lot of you in the US may not realize this, but in Canada, our prescription drugs work the way your entire system works for everything. So we have co-pays and deal with insurance companies and all of that. When it comes to things like newer medications like Aimovig, you've got things like prior authorizations, and many insurance companies won't cover it because of cost. And I honestly think there's a component of stigma involved with it as well, with the fact that it's migraines. Like, people do not understand the effect migraines has on the people who experience them. And if they had access to something that worked, how much it would not only benefit that person, but how much it would benefit society as a whole. And I say this in particular with the economy. So the amount of days of work that are missed because of migraines in the general population is huge because migraines are so common. Now, to the point where you're getting into, I think, chronic migraines, where people are having, the definition of chronic migraines, which is what I had, is a lot lower, where to the point where it's completely interfering with almost everything every month. I think that's a lot less, but I really do think that research needs to be done, or if there is research out there that shows this, that I do think occasional migraines can transition into chronic migraines over time. So With that being said, I think it's important that people take migraine treatment seriously and don't ignore it, because if it ever does become chronic, you got a really big problem on your hands. Before I was on Aimovig, and it's really hard to remember this, I was having probably about 20 days a month where I was not functioning at all because of migraines. And it was a lot of days where I'd be sitting on the couch and, struggling just to edit a video, which editing is nearly impossible when you're having a migraine because of the light. Sometimes I'd be struggling just to sit there without pain, and I felt like a lump on the couch for the longest time. And obviously, when you're stuck inside all the time and all of that, it gets frustrating because you just don't have the social life that you need to stay happy. Like, I gotta be honest, I could stay inside by myself a lot of the time because I'm introverted. I'm very introverted. But it was getting to the point where I was getting frustrated because I was missing events with family, or I wasn't able to participate in anything. It would interfere with workouts, which was important for IIH management. I still struggle with the workouts, but it's not as big of a problem now that I have as active as a job as I do. And it's gone from not being able to function at all to not missing a single day of work because of my migraines, not having to miss out on so many different family functions, being able to spend time with people, and being able to plan things in advance, I think, is another huge one. This system with this medication is extremely broken. I don't know if there's any other medications on the market out there that require the same amount of steps, that could lead to the most benefit, that have the most hoops to jump through than with this one. And I think a lot of this is due to stigma. I really do. So people don't understand what a migraine is. They consider it just a severe headache and they want to leave it at that. It's so much more than that, though. It's so much more than just a severe headache. And even now, you can tell migraines are much more than a severe headache when it's not just the pain that you feel when you actually get one with Aimovig. I get migraines, but they're a completely different experience, as I was saying. Your productivity might be affected to a certain point, but you're not completely unable to function. Now, I don't think it's fair that you require someone to function when they're going through that, but, it's not something that any type of pain medication is going to help at that point. This medication should be accessible to those who would benefit from it, and particularly for people who have already been on it, should never lose access to it because they don't have insurance. The point I'm trying to make here is that without Aimovig, I wouldn't be at work. But the stupidest thing is that I need my job in order to be able to keep this medication affordable. This is just honestly ridiculous, and the fact that in order to keep something affordable that vastly improves my quality of life, that makes me a functioning member of society, I need to have insurance. And in order to have that insurance, I have to be a functioning member of society in order to keep a job that I can keep insurance. It's so broken. This needs to change. It needs to be more accessible to people who would mostly benefit from it. And guess what that is? It's not the higher income people that have a disposable income every month. It's the people who are low income and work paycheck to paycheck. That's who needs to have this changed. And the thing is, what's the point in doing all of this research if we're not going to make these newer medications accessible to the people who would most benefit from them? I don't get the point. What's the point in continuing to fund research if the only thing it comes down to is the almighty dollar? Enjoying my content? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and then make sure you click the notification bell so you never miss any of my upcoming future videos. Bye for now, and thanks for watching.